Child, if this too late to rest on Mary's lap is sleeping, and angels greet with anthem sweet, while shepherds words are keeping. This is Christ the King, whom shepherds guard and angels sing. Haste, haste to bring him up, the babe, the Son of Mary. So bring him incense, gold, and myrrh, come peasant king to own him. King of kings, salvation brings, let loving hearts enthrone him. This is Christ the King, whom shepherds guard and angels sing. Haste, haste to bring him up, the babe, the Son of Mary. This is Christ the King, whom shepherds guard and angels sing. Haste, haste to bring him up, the babe, the Son of Mary. The babe, the Son of Mary.
thank you, our dear friend, for the wonderful song that you have presented. And I also wanted to thank Guntur for his special song that he sang before. It is my privilege to stand before all of you once again to share from the Word of God. And before we begin, I realize that we are stepping into the festive seasons. And this is December. And I wanted to wish all of you a happy holiday season. And I wish that you will have joy, love, peace and joy in you and your family, and that you and your family may prosper well. And basing on these seasons, I have also entitled my sermon, or I would say that the theme has been shaped in the form of a Christmas sermon. And every one of us, we have heard so much of Christmas sermons, and I'm not going to tell you anything other than you, but I would try to bring out alive once again what has been repeated all over through the years. The passage is taken from the Gospel according to Matthew chapter 1, verses 18 to 25. Matthew chapter 1, verses 18 to 25. This passage, along with the birth narrative in Luke, talks about the birth of Jesus Christ from the human point of view. And the significance of this particular passage is that it talks about the incarnations of Jesus in a supernatural way, inculcating or employing the Midrashic Hadagadic in the form of visions, in the form of dreams, in the form of angels, visitations and consummations. And this story brought out the Old Testament theme also that is there in it. In the Old Testament, the relationship between God and His people are often portrayed in the form of two betrothed lovers, where the woman left her first love in search of another man. However, the man did not abandon the woman, but came looking for her so that she can be won back once again. This is the story that we find in the Bible. And this particular theme is also recreated in the birth of Jesus Christ. And today, when we celebrate Christmas, we celebrate the relationship that has been restored between God and humanity. That was made available to us by the birth of Jesus Christ. Not only that, the inner experiences of God's relationship with us, or our relationship with God, is manifested in outward festive activities. So the Christmas seasons, when we talk about it, it talks about joy. It brings a sense of joy. It is a season where we look forward expectantly, not only about the celebrations, not only about the festive activities that we are going to do, but we look forward to meeting our families, we look forward to meeting our friends, we look forward to singing, to dressing ourselves, to eating, or in different ways that we can celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ. And different churches celebrate Christmas differently. But the sense of Christmas is all the same. Its essence is the same. And this story that has been so instrumental in our life as Christians is immortalized by the evangelists, especially in the Gospel of Matthew and Luke. Both the Gospels talks about the birth of Jesus Christ from the fulfillment point of view. You say that the Old Testament has been fulfilled. in the birth of Jesus Christ. However, they approach from different angles to say that now when we come to the Gospel of Luke, the central point of Luke's narrative is a woman, that is Mary, taking the central stage within the drama or within the narrative, along with Elizabeth. It also inculcates the efforts or the participations of the shepherds to talk about the universal implications of Jesus' birth. Now when we go to the Gospel of Matthew tried to bring on the narrative from the point of the Jewish understanding, to say that Jesus has come from the royal family of the line of David. And basing on the Jewish customs or the traditions, the focus is more on the man, that is Joseph. And basing on this particular passages, I wanted to highlight 2 points. By looking at the characters that were at play in this particular narrative, and especially Mary and Joseph. Now it is already 6:30, and I will not be taking much time. The first reflection that I would like to bring out to all of you is Christmas is all about possibilities in God. Christmas is all about possibilities in God. Jesus' birth tells us about how God became human and was born to a human, that is Mary. From the point of human being, or from our perspective, a woman giving birth to a child as a virgin, it is a miracle which has all its improbability and which has all its impact of impossibility. But our understanding of probability or impossibility is not what it tells us. Because the scripture says that it did happen. Not only that, not only Jesus Christ came to save us, but there is another picture that the gospel tells us about the role of human beings in making the plan of God into actuality or into realizations. It is the story of 2 young couples who were betrothed, yet they were very, very insignificant in the society within those times. But it is out of this insignificance, out of this marginality, that God was able to use them and make them as the earthly parents to the Son of God. Mary and Joseph were just ordinary people. In the Gospel, Matthew chapter 13, verse 35, it says Matthew was just a carpenter. He was not only a carpenter, but in that particular passage as we read, we can see that the people use these particular professions. And the professions of his family members to mock at Jesus Christ and use his name in order to question the integrity of Jesus' wisdom and power. A person of substance, a person of acceptance within the society will not invite those type of situations. And it can tell us what is the social situations of Joseph and Mary. That the people use their names in order to mock even the sons. On the other hand, we also saw that the name of Joseph appeared in the narrative. But after the birth narrative, there is little or no mention of Joseph at all. We didn't know what happens to Joseph. We did not know what was he doing, whether he was still alive during Jesus' ministry or was he already dead by that time. We never know about him again. And now coming to Mary. Mary was supposed to be an ordinary woman coming from a small town of Nazareth, that according to the custom of the first century Palestinian Jewish society, a girl was betrothed at 12 or 13 of age, and the actual marriage taking place a year later. Maybe 14 or 13 or 15. This was the age when the incident or the story of Jesus' birth took place. And today, if we are to look at a person of that age, we call them girls. Maybe they will be studying in class 7 or class 6. They were not even a young woman. They were still dependent. And it would have been very disturbing for all of us if it would happen today. But that is not the point that I'm going to highlight. But the anticlimax of this plot is that a young girl that much of age is already pregnant. She was already pregnant. Although Matthew strives to nullify that regarding the doubt of Mary's adultery, to say that it was the creative work of the Holy Spirit that has impregnated her. However, from the perspective of the Jewish society of that time, it was adultery. It was an adultery. Because for a human being, we cannot explain the phenomena of how a girl can be got pregnant otherwise than what is natural. But it is, we are talking about here a girl who is having the Son of God in her womb. When Mary responded to the angel Gabriel, we do not have much knowledge about it. But according to the Luke Gospels, she said yes. And she said, "Here I am, the servant of the Lord. Let it be with me according to your word." We may say that, oh, she doesn't know what is going to happen. We can say that, oh, maybe she was too young to say no. But according to the Luke narrative, Luke seems to tell us that Mary knew exactly what she was entering into when she took her decisions. It is the decisions that makes the difference. It is the decision that changes the world. It is not because David can do it. It is not because Joseph can bring forth or become the father of Jesus Christ, who was the Son of God. It is not that Mary can become the mother of Jesus Christ, who is the Son of God. But in the limitation, they were able to say, "Yes, Lord, here I am." Despite all the difficulties, despite all the problems that is ahead. When they said, "Yes, Lord," and when they made themselves available for God to work through their life and in their life, the impossibilities become possible. And that is how an unknown man and unknown woman became known to them. And we talk about that every time we celebrate Christmas. But it is not because of the station, it is not because of the positions that God chose. But it is because they are willing to make themselves available. And that made all things possible. And so it reminds us, or the story reminds us today, that Christmas not only talks about how Jesus Christ came into the world, but it also talks about how impossible can be made possible if we are willing to make ourselves available to the Word of God. Being available is a choice. It is an option, not a compulsion. Everyone can be available in the choosing. And the point is, are we willing to choose and say, yes, Lord, use me. Yes, Lord, I will do it. Are we going to say, yes, I'm here? Or are we going to make excuses? Unless we come to the point of saying a definite, yes, we will do it, it still is immaterial. The real actions of God cannot work in our lives. And the second point that I would like to share with all of you this evening is Christmas is about being humane. Christmas is all about being humane. Humane means having or showing compassion or benevolence. Christmas is God assuring us that we human beings are not evil. It is God telling us that human being is not evil. It is okay to have human ridiculous. It is okay as a human being to have limitations, weaknesses, shortcomings. If it was evil, God will surely not have sent His Son in a human form because it is evil. And the incarnation of Jesus is a testimony to the fact that it is okay to be human with limitations. But what it teaches us is, although we are human beings, we can live humanly. Our life can be a manifestation of humanness. But our life can be a life of benevolence, of compassion, and of goodness. This is what Matthew birth narratives talk about. The Matthew narratives talks about the predicament of Mary and Joseph. It is not that God has visited them and now that Mary was having the child of Jesus Christ, or having the child of God in the form of Jesus Christ. Everything is bright and beautiful. It doesn't work that way. They, as a human being, they also face the problem or the decision, the struggle to make decisions. And in verse 19, it describes about Joseph breaking into Mary's pregnancy. And in this particular verse, it says that he was a righteous man or upright man, and the first man to be referred so in the gospel. But the point is, when he is called a righteous man, it is not because he was faithful to the law or he was obedient to Torah, nothing as such. But it is because of his benevolent attitudes towards Mary. Mary was betrothed to marry him, and for the Jewish society it was binding. And if he were to now divorce, separate from her, he has to divorce her. Now, Joseph is not trying to condone the act of Mary because he was not aware of it, as the scripture says. He was not trying to condone the evils of adultery as such, but he did not condemn adultery. And this became the cornerstone of Jesus' ministry, that is forgiving. He knew that he had to divorce her. He could not accept it. But the point is, he did not want to publicly humiliate her, or he wanted to use the Lord in order to take revenge on her, which could have been stolen her to death. But he chose not to do such a thing. But he wanted to divorce her in privacy, and he wanted that she may not be hurt. That is the point of benevolence. That is the point of humanness that we are speaking. Now today, if we are to put ourselves into the shoes of Joseph, what are we going to do? The Hollywood movies always bring the theme, revenge is very sweet. Revenge is sweet. But that is not the story that we see in the Bible, especially in the Bible. It is about forgiveness. And that is exactly what Joseph did. He chose to be different. He was willing to let her go pregnant. And if it could have been, probably Joseph could have made an example of marriage to everyone. Even if he had forgiven her, like the Pharisees, he could have a public announcement so that the people can respect and show how righteous and how forgiving nature this man Joseph is. Or he could have gone to the Pharisees' ways of having high moral ground to say that I am righteous and she is unrighteous. And make it a point to elevate himself to the platform where people can see and push down Mary to the place where she is crossed. Or she can use that as a standard, like the Pharisees, to discriminate the other people like the Galileans. But he chose not to. Joseph gave for Mary for whatever she was. And it is this act of benevolence, that is an act of forgiveness, that would change even his course of life. And because of this virtue of humanness over the religiosity or the obedience to the Lord, that opened the door to Joseph about the visitations of the angels. That allowed him later on, when the angel visited Israel, to say yes to the angels and take Mary as his wife. If it was not because of his humanness, maybe the story that we are talking about in Jesus' birth would have taken different things. We never know what would happen. Of course, God can do miracles, but the miracles would not have been in this way. The story would have been told differently. And now it is a story that not only talks about Joseph and Mary, but it talks about how we can be human and cultivate in our daily life. God wants us to have a forgiving heart. He cannot work with us when we have judgmental spirit. And when our heart is filled with hate. Because God cannot work with those characteristics. And as we celebrate Christmas, and as we celebrate the birth of Jesus, it is God reminding us once again that in Him and through Him there is all possibilities. And that we, through God, can make things possible and become one in His likeness. And the weakness or the limitation that we have can turn into strength and into a blessing. And it also reminded us that despite the evils that we see in this world, despite the suffering problems that we have and that we see, everything is not lost. Because we still have a hope that God is still in advance. May God bless everyone else. Amen.